Good, great. So I'm very happy that we have such a strong crowd here and we're getting fantastic questions. What I am here for is just to take you a quick overview of how to create your account on Explain, how to deal with teams, how we can use API keys, and then how to land on our resources. I'm sure you've got some emails where you can access our Discord channel. This is where you will have also live conversations with Sonam and the team. So let me share my screen with you quickly. If you go to Explain, it's asking me for a lot of permissions. Just a second. Okay. If you go to explain.com, do you see my screen full or do you see yourselves? Okay.
No, I see just the website.
Good, perfect. This is where you would land. And just to take you through this, so we could also have maybe you have questions about the Explain offerings. So Explain has been focusing on creating agents that are for production level, which means that when you're developing your agent, you're still testing a lot of things. You're testing if they're too expensive. You're testing if the large language model you're using is the best quality. You're testing, are the tools the right tools? That's great. That's what you're doing when you say agent.create, agent.deploy, agent.run repeatedly. But in reality, when people are happy with their agent and they want to have huge traffic, they usually ask for dedicated deployment. They would ask, for example, that the agent lives on their private cloud or their private hardware. So this is where Explain kind of streamlines this process, particularly for businesses. And more specifically for businesses who are highly regulated, where they cannot have their data swimming in the SaaS cloud. They need their data to be super close to where their agent is, such that they can control the channels and they can audit the channels. So it might not be a great offering for builders who are just thinking, I have a great idea. But once a builder takes their idea into a scale, that's where they will come back for these particular features. Adaptability is something really exciting. If you noticed when Thiago was building agent, he was using something as easy as agent.create, adding a few parameters, then agent.run to try it out, then agent.deploy. Once you do agent.deploy, it's already on the cloud. It already has an ID. You can share it with your friends, your family, or with the outside world. Anyone who pings this endpoint or ID is actually speaking with your agent. Let's say your agent is up for a month and the next month you heard that there's a new LLM in the market. You want to try it out. You like it. What you could do is go take the exact agent you have, agent.id. You extract that ID from the marketplace. And then you say agent.llm and you assign the new LLM to it and it's automatically updated. There's no compilation that you need to do. There is no downtime on your users. So this is part of the adaptability that we created. Our agents orchestrate in real time all the time. And what you're doing is just let me update you. I'm going to just insert this new instruction, append this specific instruction. Maybe I'm seeing a specific behavior from my users that I didn't account for. You can update your instructions, add more tools, remove tools, and so forth. So you'll always keep it updated. The other part of adaptability that we're excited about is something called Evolver. It's a new micro agent that we will be offering for all our builders very soon. And what it does is once you create an agent, you could say agent attach Evolver, and Evolver keeps refining your instructions and maybe asking you to try different tools. It seems like it would come back and say, it seems like this tool is really requiring inspector to keep trying several times. This is expensive. Here's a better tool. It's one of our very ambitious projects, and we have a few examples that are running already with beta users. So we're excited about this when we release it. Stay tuned. So still in beta phase. Okay, so I'll skip over these parts. This is mostly if you're interested in building a use case with Explain, where Explain also provides consultation for you. And finally, here at the very end, AiXplain has an AiXplain chat app. If you go to your iOS marketplace, you can find that directly. You can download it, and you get like a very generous quota of free messages over a bunch of large language models. Today is only large language models that you can chat with. You can chat with OpenAI ones, you can chat with Anthropic, you can chat with Nova from AWS, you can chat with all of them. What we will provide very soon, and we have a glimpse already if you download the app today, is public agents, which means if you build an agent and you're so happy with how it performs and you want to make money yourself, you can ask aiXplain to make it public, and it will appear on that chat app. So anyone with that chat app, which again is free to download, can start talking with your agent, and you will get a generous revenue share. So we can talk about details in Discord. I don't want to talk about monetization yet, but this is a huge add value for working with aiXplain. Your agents are not just like closed boxes. We want you to be able to interface with the world and make use of them and actually put them in a marketplace. I will start by registering. If you're a new user, you need to sign up. If you are an existing user, you just log in, and signing up requires you to insert. Okay. Figured out why. Let me do an private session. Okay, if you go here and you sign up, you see my new screen?
Yes.
Good. All you need is your email accounts, password, and then you accept the terms and services. You can also directly register via your Google and your Apple. Admittedly, I have registered with all my emails during testing. I don't have any more emails to showcase today, but this is the only step you have to do. After this, you get like a code sent to your email. You just paste it and you're in. Once you're in, this is what you will see. I'm going to just log in. Log in here. This is where you would land. This is a very populated dashboard. This is where we track your work, so it's easier for you to come back and keep building. But this is very populated because we have been working and building this interface together, like as a team. I am part of aiXplain team for a while. If I would simulate exactly what you would see, I would actually create a new team. Let's say my demo team. Let's create that just to give you a glimpse of how that looks. This is how a new team looks like. A new team does not have any agents in it. It has a bunch of tools that you can use. It doesn't have any private assets in it. So these are all empty assets. What it has is the different services that aiXplain offers. It offers the marketplace as a service for finding different assets. You can filter for function, where text generation or LLM is one of the functions. We have 50 plus different functions. You could do, for example, speech recognition. Let's do that. And you can also filter for the language. So let's also do language filter. And I can select one of these assets. Like I already know that I like, for example, the Microsoft version. I can go here, read more about it, understand who is providing this. So this is from Microsoft Azure. It's public, which means I see it and everyone on the platform can see it. This is how much it costs per minute. And this is success rate, which is anything above 90 is usually a great success rate and reliable. And this is latency. Latency becomes more important if we're comparing different assets. So you can make a more objective selection. So if I like it.
Yeah, quick question. In the latency, I saw there's seconds per audio seconds. So how is the audio seconds calculated in this case?
It's how much it takes to generate an audio second in seconds.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so The other tabs here are unified across all the marketplace. So if I describe this here, you should find it in any asset that you will select. We have the API integration tab. This is where you would find the codes that allow you to call that asset from outside of Explain in your apps, in your Vercel app, in your Slack channel, using Cursor, whatever tool you're using today. You just need an API, and this is where you will get it. But to get the API, you need at least to have one API key. So let's create the API key together. I'm going to call it my first key. And just create that. I'm going to copy it and save it somewhere secure because this is the last time I will be able to see it. So let me put it on the side. Let's do it so I can refer to it later. And once I create it, it unfolds all my options for integration. If you are an iOS developer or a macOS developer, you would be quite excited about just using your native programming language to create apps for the App Store. Curl is the most universal language. It is just an API that is everyone that can integrate with any interface. Python is for Python people who are developing with Python from the beginning, so it's easy to integrate. As you see here, copying this code includes the only library that you need to install beside Explain, pip.explain. So that you need to install, but afterwards, just the model factory. And then this is the ID of that particular asset. And then here is the audio file. So here you would add the link for the audio file. The result, because this is speech recognition, will be text. And then you can print out the text. You can also try it out directly. So here it tells me that I do not have enough credits to buy to try it out. To add credits, you go to your wallet here, and then you add credits. Let's add, for example, 20 credits, adding it here. If you see the new interface, then you can know that there is a few ways to get your credits in. Either you add a credit card or through Google Pay. And what's worth noting is the minimum is $10. But when you start with Explain, we already give you $5, and at the end, I will give you another $5 worthy. And every $5 worth of credit give you five credits. So $1 is worth one credit. And with one credit, you can do thousands of API calls. So it's really already quite hundreds of API calls. With 5 credits, you can do thousands because it's quite generous amount. And we often find people like the first month, they only need the 5 credits. And just when they pick up, they start adding and topping up more credits to do more activity. Okay, so going back I'm going to switch to, just for the purposes of this, I'm going to switch to a team that already has credits so I can continue my my demo with the speech recognition model. So we were speech recognition, we did English, and we selected the first one. Okay, so we were in tryout. This is where I would, it would tell me what kind of input this model accepts, so I can upload that. I have this one. And what it does, it would show me just a preview and also convert it. Sorry, trying to get to that. Okay, and the information that's visible to you is you can get information that this is the most popular speech recognition model on Explain, how many teams are currently using it today, like at the current moment, and then the cost it would it needs for processing. And then you will see also the output. Okay, we have more people. Okay, so that's the audio.
Come to office every day. I love everyone here.
And then that's just the actual transcript. So this is the information you need. This is documentation. If that model has documentation from its own vendor, or like whether it's the developer or the host, you will also be able to access that for your information. You do not need it in Explain because that documentation is usually embedded inside of the assets. And that's why it's easy to add an asset to an agent in Explain, because you don't have to add this decoration. The agent already knows where to find the description of any asset and know how to use it. So that's one of the benefits here. And even if you're onboarding your own asset, like a custom utility, we do advise you how to onboard it in a way that allows agent to effectively use it, particularly by just providing a generous description. Yeah, so that is the part about just how to use a single asset. We went from just understanding the specs, seeing some data that would help us make a selection here. We have the API integration codes, and we have trying it out and the documentation for as an option. If I go back to the main page where I selected the speech recognition model, because I have so many, I also have the option to collect a few of those and try them side by side. So I could collect a few and then click here at the compare models. And I can upload, let's say, that file again and see how different models will compare in terms of pricing, which I see immediately, the different pricing in terms of runtime and the subjective output. This is really a lot of you making the decision based on preference of the output. There is another technique to go and do that more objectively, which is our benchmarking technique. Again, it's one of our advanced services. I would be happy to dig into that whenever anyone is interested. It just allows you to use like standardized metric to actually compare different assets together and have a more objective answer, what one is better. And the input to benchmark is these models that, for example, these would be the models, as well as the data set that you want to process.
Quick question. So there's an audience question saying that after a team is created, will you need to allocate credits to a particular team?
Yeah, let me gather this. So this just a quick note here. I'm just running the compare, and I could see already that OpenAI is not responding. However, AWS is responding and Microsoft. And I wouldn't take one run as like I wouldn't ask OpenAI just from one run. Like we're maintaining that marketplace for years now, and there is no way any vendor keeps their model operating 100% all the time. So there is an expectation that one of the models will not work. When you're calling through aiXplain, we internally do multiple calls to make sure that within a very short time you get some response, because we are aware of that problem. Now, going back to the question you asked me. So my personal team is Noor. That carries my name, and that's the one that if I register, I would look into here. Every other team I belong to has their own separate wallet. If I would create a business, I will start by prototyping on my own team, and to guarantee that I will go to my account settings, my general settings, integrations, and create my access key here. So here I have a few. I will use that particular access key when I'm like creating agents, deploying agents, trying them out. If I am happy with my agent and now I want to monetize it, I would create either another team or a separate API key. It depends. So creating a separate API key will allow you to say, for example, let's create one. Let's say this is this is a prototype that you want to give to customer one. Okay. So you give your you give them your software, and you tell them to insert this API key to activate it for themselves only for that particular customer. And this way, every time the customer is creating an API call, that API call belongs to the customer because it's identified by their own API key. You can also here add a time limit. So maybe you want to just give them 7 days of access. 7 days of access. So you can save that. And after 7 days, that API key expires. So whatever software they were using that requires your agent, the agent will stop responding after 7 days. They will have to call you and say, can you extend the time? And you can still extend the time just by editing the same time that I just showed. You can go back and edit that time. So this is one way our customers today are using to support their own customers. Another technique is you go and create a team, just like I showed a second ago. So you can create a team and then switch to that team. This team, again, has its own set of API keys. So I can create an API key and say, this is, for example, my trial key. And I would give them this key. If they're happy with the information, if they're happy with the agent and they come back and say, yes, we want to commit, maybe I create another key and I call it customer key now because it is it's now more permanent. I don't give it an expiration key. I allow it to run as long as they want. All the information all the API calls that happen when you are attaching a single API key to any of your agents, you can depict in your transactions. So this team does not have transactions, right? This is a very brand new team. So I'm switching to a team that has a lot of transactions. Let's go do, for example, let me do my personal team.
And we have 2 questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a limit to the number of API keys one can create?
Yeah, you can create per team 10 API keys, and then you can delete and create more. If for any reason you need more, contact us. We usually can offer you a little bit more. We can be more flexible. So that's the question number 2. Well, 1. Question number 2 probably is limitation on number of teams. We do not have any limitation on how many teams you create or how many members you invite to your team.
Okay, that was not the question, but good to add that information.
Go ahead. What's the question?
Technically third question now. Can API keys for our customers be created programmatically, example via an aiXplain API?
We currently do not support programmatic API key for like security purposes only. But yeah, that's if you are using everything programmatically, as Thiago mentioned before, that is the only time you don't do it programmatically, just by creating your API key. I mean, if that we could always consider that feature, but we have been just very careful about security reasons. So I'm just going through my transactions just to showcase how we break down everything that happens with your agent. So here you can see my medical assistant agent number 2. This is my name for it. I can see that I have made 2 API calls to it in the past month. I can also filter for a specific time frame. And this is how much it cost me. And this is the aiXplain service key. So let's talk about the service key. So in your agent, you have your large language model that is running the show and your tools. Everything on aiXplain is an asset that you can find in the marketplace. And every asset in the marketplace has a price. You can see it here. Like this is the price. These prices are not are not created by aiXplain. These are the actual prices that the vendor, for example, in this case, OpenAI has. How we do it is that we do like big contract with these vendors, and then we cover these like the big vendor costs, and we just give you exactly the same cost that it will that you would have to pay if you're using OpenAI directly. So you wouldn't have to question, is it cheaper to use aiXplain or to use OpenAI? It's exactly the same price all the time for all vendors.
Noor, just one quick thing.
Yeah.
We're coming close to the time, just letting you know.
Okay, I'm gonna run quickly.
Yeah.
The only time where, so to summarize, if you're going to any of these assets and double clicking on it and going to the integration code and going to the curl and copying that code, okay, and inserting your API key here, the one that you created for your customer or for trial or for whatever one, because you want to market for a specific customer. Once you do that, you're paying aiXplain exactly what you would pay OpenAI. The only time you would pay aiXplain a little bit more is when you are deploying agents, because in agents we also are doing some hosting for you. We're doing storage. We're doing maintenance. So this is the service fee that we take. And instead of having it a bunch of money, we actually have it exactly proportional to your usage. So we only win when you win. So that's our mantra all the time. We want you to win because that's the only way even our business model succeeds. It's usually 20% of the whole traffic. So this is how you would be able to calculate that information. Like 20% of what you would pay to the vendor will go as additional fee to Explain. I just wanted to clarify this because I want to be super transparent about the pricing. This service fee only, again, happens if you're using agents or pipelines, which are another type of agents. If you're calling the models directly, let me go to an example. I haven't called models for a while. If you're calling models directly, it exactly costs like just on the card, no service fee added. Okay. Any questions about creating a team or adding credits or how to use the marketplace, how to look at your transactions? These are like the main topics I wanted to cover. One thing I just remembered is adding team members. So as I mentioned, you don't have a limit on how many teams you create or how many members you add. Once you create a team with just create team, you can go to team settings, members, and keep inviting people. There's no limit. You have two options between member and admin. Member, we document the differences. The differences are so far more administrative. So members can do anything in terms of like creating agents, deleting their agents, editing their agents, but they cannot invite people or add credits. So these are the main limitations to members. Admins only have this.
Denise has a question. Please go ahead and unmute yourself, Denise.
Thank you. I was just curious about when you hand over an API and a tool to a customer, do they provide, do they pay directly through aiXplain, or in other words, they have their payment method there for their usage?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Let me clarify a little bit more. So Explain is prepaid. As you've seen, I go to my credit and I say I want to spend only $20. So I added $20. I get 20 credits. This is how you're limiting what your personal accounts, whether in my personal account or this team, can consume. If I'm generating an API key for that team, this is as much as they can consume, the 20 credits, and I can see when they consumed what through the transactions. So there, you could one business model would be, for example, they would pay you a subscription of $100, and what you do is every month you just add 100 credits into their account, or whatever like margin that you want to deduct from that. So you can control this way. Currently, that is the main model. Once we enable publishing agents, it's going to be a little bit more complex model because you can also set the price. Today, you cannot set the price. Because we are just basing the pricing on consumption. So we charge you because, or that agent, for example, costs, for example, $1. We charge you $1. Your option is to go back to your customer and say, pay me $1 this month because I'm going to give you $1 capacity of agent usage. But in the future, we want you also to be able to say, I want to sell my $1 running agent for $2 because I want to make profit. You will be able to do that, but not today.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure. I think Andrew has his hand up, right? So.
Okay. Go ahead, Andrew.
Sorry, Nora, this is not exactly in the categories that you gave. The use case that I would have is within on-premise deployment, because we're mostly in Azure Gov. Is that something where I'd have to have like a separate meeting to walk through to be able to deploy, or is there some walkthrough? Because I checked quickly in the FAQs and I saw it's like, yeah, you can deploy it on premise, but I didn't see anything further.
Yeah, these are like very custom made because it depends on how much guaranteed throughput you want, and what kind of hardware you want on-prem. So if you already have the hardware and you're only interested in the service, this is a subscription fee that you can, this is a subscription that we just agree based on expected throughput, or sorry, traffic that you have. So instead of pay as you go, because it becomes more expensive to do pay as you go if you scale. So on-prem, we usually offer based on the pay as you go like calculation, we provide a subscription model. If you want also the hardware from aiXplain, we can also sell we're not selling, we're literally provisioning the hardware for your team. And we can also do fully managed hardware. It takes us less than a week to deploy on-prem. Our process is super automatic. It's streamlined. We've repeated it several times. The hiccups happen when the customer is not really still sure where they want to source the hardware. Is it from aiXplain, or they want a private vendor of some sort? Once that's ironed up, we just deploy on-prem easily. So for your use case, I'm happy to jump on a call with you, understand what kind of traffic you're expecting. We do have a pricing sheet that I can share with you in a private call just for on-prem.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Great. Thank you, Noor. I think, yes, we have reached our time, and this was a wonderful session. Thank you, everyone, for being so interactive and engaging and bringing in all sorts of smart questions. I'm sure that definitely got our engineers and scientists thinking more and more. So yeah, let's get ready for day number 2. I have shared all the links here, which is the sign up page, Discord, SDK documentation, iOS chat app. Tomorrow's agenda, we will cover some more details around RAG and agentic RAG. We will have our Mac OS Agent Builder UI session. It's going to be all hands-on, so be prepared. We will share, you will receive an email, and I will share all the Google Colab notebooks right in the beginning of the session tomorrow, as well as in the email as well. And Noor, you were going to share some code for. Okay, so Noor is going to share the code with you after I'm done with my speech. But yeah, let's get ready for tomorrow. And towards the end of the session tomorrow, we will have some breakout rooms where you will be. There will be engineers and scientists who will help you build your first single agent or first agent with aiXplain. Over to you, Noor.
So if you register on aiXplain, you'll get 5 credits immediately. I wanted to just give a little bit more leeway. So I'm going to share with you the code and how to redeem that code quickly to get a little bit more. I'm sorry, I was looking for my window. So if you go to your page, your account, and then you can choose whether it goes into your account directly or any team of your choosing, it doesn't matter. You will find this redeem functionality, and you just paste this code. I'll add it also here, or Sonam, if you could please add it. It's Spring Training, April 2025.
CAPR 2025.
Yes.
Okay.
And if anything does not work or you're facing any issues, please contact us on Discord, and we'll also help you debug tomorrow.